who help others profit. If you've lost big or you're just clueless about how to become profitable, stay tuned because Claire and Jeanne are here and they're going to let you in on their strategies and their insights on how to leverage your lessons and lead a profitable life. And it's probably not what you're thinking. So let's go say hi. Hi, Jeanne.
Hi, Laura. My name is Jeanne Zierfhoffer, and you can find me at jzlifestyleteam.com. I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a strategic results-driven coach and consultant. So thank you, Laura.
Oh, thanks for being here. Glad to have you. And hi, Claire.
Hi, Laura. I'm Clare Darwish, the Bitcoin boomer. And right now I'm in Portugal. And you can find me on my Facebook group, Breaking Free. It's time to be me.
Beautiful. I'm super excited for today's show because both of you have some wisdom to share that I think is going to go deep and also very practical at the same time. So, Jeanne, I want to start with you, being the strategic results-driven coach and consultant you are. What advice do you have for our viewers on how to learn and listen and lead a profitable life?
Staying present. We are inundated with distractions, and staying present to exactly what you're doing at that exact time, and blocking out those distractions to make sure that you are listening and looking for the clues that the other person is giving you and that connection that you can make.
So when they stay present, is there any tips you have for how someone can stay present and or listen better?
Absolutely. I lead business owners in implementing strategic operations so that they can listen and they can look for clues, whether it's body language, whether it's their background, whether it's their tonality, and how they're showing up really helps you be able to connect and listen better. Turn the phone off. How many times do you go into a restaurant and you see people sitting at a table and they all are looking down at their phones? Stay present. Sometimes we need to unplug to replug.
And when they do that, what is possible with regard to becoming profitable?
Because you are being present for the person across from you. Right now, we've gone through a couple of years of very uncomfortableness, right? Very lacking connection. Zoom has become our new connection. And the profit in that is there's a lot of people that don't feel seen or heard. And now you can be that person that listens to them and makes them feel visible. And the power in that is the ripple effect. How many people can we affect? And my motto is each one, reach one, teach one. It's one person at a time that you can change the life of.
I love that, especially for the leaders watching today. If you've been a little distracted, if you've gotten in your head or worrisome, this is a good practical tool to get out of your head and into the space so that you can create something for someone else, which in turn pays you back. Would you agree, Jeanne?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for that. Really rich advice. So Claire, given that, we're going to get present to ourselves, to the people in the room, what could you add to this conversation? I know you come from a different vantage point. Let us know what tips you have to lead a profitable life.
Well, the clue's in that word that you just said there, profit. And financial education is really top of my list, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But financial education is something that we're not taught. Most people have no idea how money works. They don't realize that there is a big game going on and it's played out 24/7 around the world. And there's a lot of confusion around the whole monetary system or the banking system. There's been a lot of talk for a long time about corruption and inflation and going into depression, and where's my pension? Certainly for women in my age group, having worked from the age of 13, made a lot of money over my life, my working life, and then get into my 50s and go, where is it? Now, that's not the fault of the system. That's my fault, because I didn't take time to find out what it was all about. But now I do know. And I think in 1997, Robert Kiyosaki brought out Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that was the book that turned my life around completely. An incredible change. Just 3 years later, I started my own business. I've been in business for 22 years now, and I went straight into property, and I did everything that he said in the book. So it was an extremely interesting, massive shift for me, and money was pouring in.
So I have a question for you. So
Yeah.
what was the give us one of the takeaways from Robert Kiyosaki, and maybe that you've developed, that you would tell people to step into if they wanted to start getting that education about money?
Well, it's really about learning how to invest. A lot of people, he's very famous, 40 million books around the world now, still teaching. I still watch his podcasts. I watched one earlier. So he's right up to date on what's happening. But if we don't understand, if we're not aware how to invest, there is a system to it. There are rules to the game. And if you don't understand the rules, there isn't much chance that you're going to be successful. And also that real investment takes time. What most people don't realize is you don't need a lot of money to get started. Money's high on the list of most people's wants. It's always there's always a stress and a struggle, and there's always blocks around money, which are really important to have a look at that. And it might be something that happened in childhood that you need to address. So that's something that I often talk to people about, friends and family. They all know that I'm all about money. And it's really all about educate people on money and how it works. Where are the blocks? How can we shift them? And what are the plans? What do people want? What they're looking for. So learning about investment strategies. Robert Kiyosaki talks about the ESB quadrant: employees, business owners, investors, and shareholders. And investors is where you want to be. That's where all of us want to be. Now, if we start really young, great. You just get into the habit of doing that. A very, very simple strategy that I teach people, and they're like, wow. So this is what I'm really passionate about right now.
I love that.
People a lot of stress. Yeah.
Yeah. So, once we're present, we can listen, we can do more with the work we do and profit from our work. Once we are educated about money and we are moving past our money blocks, we're able to invest the money we're making and be highly profitable. Wow. You two should write a book together. This is powerful stuff. So let's learn a little bit more about both of you. So Jeanne, tell me, who do you work with and what do you do with them?
It's funny. Who do I work with? Who do I choose to work with? Because it is a choice, for starters. And I choose to work with women business executives, speakers, and presenters, and help people to really be able to speak into words or into a PowerPoint or into a presentation what they really want to say, and how they can do it by using and speaking in 8 cylinders.
Say more about that. In 8 what?
8 cylinders.
8 cylinders.
Yes. So basically we have 4 values, which are personality values, and we hear things based on our personality. Yes. And then we also have what's called neuro-linguistic programming. And that is also listening. Some people, you'll hear them. Some people will see, and some people will feel. So we have what's called VACOG, and then other methodology systems, and I call it 8 cylinders. So that's what I teach people, is how to connect and communicate on 8 cylinders.
example story of how you help somebody to connect on 8 cylinders and profit?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking, Laura. And yeah, so I had a gentleman, and he was a very, very wonderful salesman. And he was ready to give up on a sales, absolutely give up on this sale that was going to profit him $800,000. And he wasn't listening and looking for the clues. The clue was the gentleman kept saying to him, and this is in the HVAC industry, kept saying to him different things, and it was about feeling risky. And when he was able to go, oh my goodness, and really listen and look for those clues that we taught and trained him, he was able to mitigate that risk and close that sale for a win-win-win for everybody involved.
When the client wins and you profit, it's a really good feeling. It's just a great, it makes you feel like your life is worth it. You know, you've broken through a barrier, you've helped somebody else, and you're moving your life forward in somebody else's. So thank you for that wonderful work you're doing. And Claire, I wanted to find out more about you as well as the Bitcoin boomer. So tell us about who do you work with and what do you do with them?
Well, cryptocurrency is very topical at the moment. Bitcoin in particular is the new kid on the block, and it's been around since 2009, and I've known about it since 2009. And I wish I had invested in it in 2009. But I was recovering from bankruptcy. Everything had been going really well in my property business. In fact, the letting agency that I started is still going strong, and it's employing 3 of my family members, which has been fantastic. So that's been going for 22 years. But I moved into property sourcing for investors at the height of the property boom. And I then I decided to do some development, invested a lot of money in a beautiful golf resort just outside Edinburgh, where, you know, the rich and famous would fly in their helicopters. And to me, it was a no-brainer, but that was in 2007. So everybody remembers what happened in 2008. 2007, I put a lot of money into buying land. And in 2008, I lost a lot. So the bank reneged. What happened was the bank reneged on the deal. And that was a huge shock to me. So that sent me down the rabbit hole. And it was very pleasant, but I learned so much about that. Now, when Bitcoin came on the scene at the same time, I was really interested, but I was broke. So I'm scared, you know, just everything. Why did that happen? Everything was going so well, and now it's gone. So I used the time to learn as much as I could. I was very fortunate with the mentors that taught me, and I didn't invest until 2017. And then when I was actually doing it, that's when the penny dropped. That's when I started to see how, first of all, how easy it is. It is quite a complex subject to discuss, and there is a lot of fear around it. So what I see my role now is to help people understand that we have an opportunity now to bring in a much fairer system of exchange. And that's all it is. Crypto is just a medium of exchange. I don't trade, and I don't look at any other cryptos other than Bitcoin, because to me that's the king. And obviously time will tell how that's going to roll out, but it's looking very, very solid. Now, everyone's hearing about the central bank digital currency that are coming on board. I don't know what it's like in America, but it's certainly on its way in Australia and in where I lived for 10 years, and also in the UK. So, and it's coming very, very quickly, which means the banks have been working on it for a long, long time. That's a worry to me. And I see Bitcoin as an escape hatch, but we're going to have to use the central bank digital currency anyway. And what I'm doing now is helping people to understand what it is, what's coming, and how to protect yourself. Now, one of the things that Jeanne said there, and you mentioned, Laura, when people make money, there is the game is that there's always someone else who wants to take that money. So, and when you hear about people losing money in the stock market, I'd like you to consider this. did they actually lose the money? Is the money lost, or did the money go somewhere? And the answer is it was transferred to whoever's shares you bought. They've got the money. So we have to start thinking differently about our money. We have to develop a positive relationship with it. We have to learn how to hold on to it as hard as we can, because there's so many agencies trying to take it from you, including the taxman. So I've learned how to protect my returns, protect my profits, and also teaching people how to buy Bitcoin without the middleman, without using an exchange, because that's also risky, but to do it very, very safely and to take responsibility for your assets. Again, most of my people who come to me have already invested. They've got their money, they've got their assets sitting on an exchange, and they don't know what to do next. So I love teaching them exactly what to do next. And it's always a lot easier that, you can see the relief on their face. Pressing the buttons, and getting used to the keyboard, that's a little bit, that's challenging for some people. I've got one guy who's a carpenter, never used a computer in his life. And he went and bought himself a new computer last year. And he's now telling me what he's doing. So
that's great.
Great.
That's great. You're such a resource of wisdom on money, right? And we have to have that, especially with all the different nuances and all the scams that are out there and the opportunities. There are plenty of good opportunities and there are plenty of not such good opportunities. So thanks for being that beacon of clarity and of direction for people, and Jeanne for helping people get that confidence and focus to be more profitable as well. You two are amazing resources, and you are kind of examples of the leaders we have here in Women Speakers Association. So I wanted to hear from each of you about the value you have already received and are planning on receiving from Women Speakers Association. So Jeanne, would you like to share a little bit about your experience here?
I would love to share. Women Speaker Association, not only the leaders such as Laura and Gail, they are truly here to help all of us. And I don't say that lightly, because there's other organizations that may not be. They are truly here to help us. And what I love is the community and the collaboration. You can be part of our Facebook group and see all these different people that are willing to work together, collaborate, and just community, sense of community.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And I agree, the connections and the collaborations here are amazing. And that's what I love about doing WSA TV Women Premier Show with all of you. So Clare, tell us about your experience. What's the value of Women Speakers Association to you?
Well, it's certainly the networking. I am a connector, and it's always, I love to see women getting together. I love to see strong women getting together, and I love to see women who are not so strong getting stronger. And that's one of the things that impressed me with WSA. It's the ability to be able to share and support and encourage one another. And then, of course, there's always opportunities to connect, because I'm an inveterate learner. I'll continue to learn until the day I die. I just love it. So there's always something new coming out, and I love to share and I love to learn from other people. So I think it's a fantastic platform to be able to do that.
And, you are all such both wonderful resources here. And I'm glad you brought up the resources, the connecting that's available. And for those of you who are watching who want to join Clare and Jeanne and myself, invite you to check out joinwsa.com. And for those of you who are still wondering what is a resource that you offer, go to speakersuccessplan.com and download our free roadmap. speakersuccessplan.com, get on our mailing list, and you'll start seeing every week the resources that are coming. You'll even be invited to our upcoming networking meetings. And for Premier members like Jeanne and Clare, they are free. And you can certainly attend as a public member or a member of the public for a nominal fee. So we will see you at the next connection and networking meeting. Thank you again, Jeanne and Clare, for your wisdom, for your heart, and the difference you're making in the world to help people learn, listen, and lead a profitable life. Bye for now.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, Jeanne.